So in this week's Creative Confidence Catch Up, today I'm going to be chatting with Jagjit. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a screenwriter, and I've been going through this creative journey for a while now. And yeah, that's kind of like my focus in life at the minute is idea generation, getting my ideas onto paper, and hopefully getting them to the next level where they get to be produced.
That's awesome. It's that, and that's the one thing that I suppose it can be a struggle, can't it, at times when it's like have these ideas and kind of maybe trying to funnel them out. I don't know if you get that.
Yeah, I mean, my first idea came to me when I was 16, but I
Wow.
never I never felt I was when I was 16. I thought, oh, this would be an amazing idea for a TV show, and then left it like that. And then
Mhm.
every few months it would kind of something would add to it. But I never actually felt at that age that I would be the one writing it. I just thought, oh, that would be a cool idea. And it wasn't until I hit 25 where I thought, and this is every few months from the age of 16 to 25, little ideas are developing. And when I hit 25, I thought, I've just got to write this out now because it's just dominating nearly all of my thought processes now. Um, but yeah, it is a difficult to get from that stage where you're just thinking about ideas to
Yeah.
the point
And
where
do you
you're writing.
do you think then, like, I suppose it's going through that process of building that idea up over the years, because obviously you might have that one idea, but it doesn't feel complete. But down the line, when things get added to it, it becomes more complete. So it makes it easier to take it forward.
100%. I think it's for me now. I mean, I use that kind of creative process for now for all my future ideas. So if I come up with a plot line or a concept, I usually just let it sit for 3 or 4 months,
Mhm.
and I feel like if it's still there afterwards, it means that there's something, it's got legs. And then I
Mhm.
start actually jotting things down and making notes rather than going through 9 years of not doing anything. I've managed to like shorten it to just 3 months now. So I think that kind of process works for me because I kind of felt when I made the decision to quit my job and make screenwriting full time,
Wow.
I was it was like I kind of like unleashed the creative process within me,
Mhm.
and then it was just ideas were just coming, and I was like making notes on them and seeing where it went. I thought I just maybe had one great idea, and then it turns out that there's actually quite a few that I'm developing,
Do
which was
you
kind of nice.
Do you find then, like, the ideas that you've got, like, you've got this sort of, I don't know, I'd call it like a pillar piece of content, that sort of thing in the middle, that sort of focus, and then everything else kind of once you've got that bit, everything just seems to, like, tangent off, from that one idea.
I think so. I think so because my major piece is like and then like it's like a series, and it's like
Series, yeah?
quite yeah, it's quite long. It's like 27 episodes. It's really um like all the themes and everything I've got in there is it's like it works as one, and then you start thinking of it's kind of crazy, but like so even within that you've got little stories and plot lines
Mhm.
within the series itself, and then you start thinking actually if I had just changed that and put it in a different location and perhaps different characters, that could be its own thing, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
start
yeah.
thinking outside the lines, but actually that would probably be best as an independent, but this part that I'm working on just now fits in with the narrative that I'm
Mm.
creating.
Yeah, it's just having that one idea, isn't it? And from that one idea, loads of things can happen, can't it? It's really cool.
Honestly, and it's like it's almost like giving yourself the license and permission to say, I'm in this game now, and let's just see where this goes,"
Mhm.
rather than kind of being so. I think with creativity, like it shouldn't be rigid. It
No.
should be the opposite. It should be flexible.
Mhm.
So once you've allowed yourself that license, it's like let's just see where you get inspiration from. I mean, I've just finished writing a short story. It's like a romantic kind of story, and it was inspired by one lyric of a song that I listened to.
Wow,
So
that's inspiration's
that's
everywhere.
inspiration is everywhere, and I'd never thought that I would be. I mean, I mean, now at this point, I'm like literally anything, any conversations that I have, things that I witness, things that I see, just walking down the street. It's like any of this could be the basis for a storyline. So it's in that sense, it's quite exciting. Waking up every day thinking, "Oh, what's going to happen today? What can inspire me today?" So it's quite
Yeah,
fun.
that's it. So as you've been going through this, like, creative journey then, Have you found a particular people in your life or people around you who've really come to inspire you or that have been able to help you move that step forward each time?
Yeah, I've got quite a small circle, but a very good circle of friends.
Hmm.
I remember I spoke to one of my friends about what I do, and his response was, he goes, "Oh, you're an artist," and I was like, "Nah, I'm just a writer. That's what I do. I write stories." And he really kind of, he goes, "That's art." He's like, "That's art, bro." And
Yeah.
we were, so he kind of like changed the lens for me, and I was like looking at it thinking, this is, he's got a point there actually. This is this, and he was kind of just saying to kind of look at yourself in those lenses. um, like you're an artist, you create art. Like an artist isn't just painting, it's not just a singer or an actor. It's like you're creating art in the kind of like in the written form. So I was like, oh, okay. Ever since he said that, it kind of just changed my dynamic of how I would see things. And I've also got a friend who's an actor himself, and he's just been fantastic with me. He's what I've come to learn is that all of my friends, obviously, they've got their own lives, they've got their own day-to-day issues, problems, they've got families, they've got work and things, and they still make like a considerable amount of time for me, uh, if I want to chat about these kind of storylines, or if they've got any advice for me, and uh, things like that. So my friend, the actor, he kind of, well, as soon as I mentioned that this is kind of the direction I want to go to, he bought me like a screenwriting book
Oh,
to
wow.
read. Yeah, and I was just like, wow, okay, thank you so much, man. I wasn't expecting it, and I read that, and it just kind of really helped. And as an actor as well, he gives me really good advice from their point of view. So
Hmm.
when I'm writing the script, and he's looking at it, he's like, yeah, this is a technique that we do when there's, say, two people having a conversation. And I was like, oh, okay, this is amazing. So he's got so much resources that he kind of lets me know, and I start
That's
looking into
ace.
it, and it's really developed in terms of, it's really, I think it really shows in the writing that I make.
And
Um,
yeah, I bet that is useful for if there's somebody already in that sort of industry, if it's kind of connected. It's like it's I suppose I always find it's like that accountability sort of thing, to kind of gain inspiration. It moves you forward, doesn't it? Like we can stay stuck in our own heads and think, oh yeah, this is where I want to be. But sometimes is it the right direction? But having that talk with someone else, it might bring you more clarity in where you really need to go.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well with with him as well specifically, like he's just, it's his energy as well, and I feel like his energy towards acting is the way I feel about writing. And then
Okay.
that kind of made me feel like, I'm on the right stage now. Do you know what I mean? It just, every day is just great. Like you wake up and it's like this. It feels like this is what I was born to do. So yeah, when you have friends in your circle like that, it's a blessing. It really is. And that's not negating the ones who sometimes I'm just calling them up and, I've got a new idea, and they just let me talk it through with them. Particularly my friend up in Scotland, and she's just great. She just listens and gives me little pieces of feedback and constructive criticism as well, which I'm here for. And yeah, I feel like I've got a really good group of people around me.
Oh, that's great. And also having that small community rather than like when people say, oh, I've got loads of people surround me, but it's like, yeah, but who actually support you when you need them? And to have those like few is far better, I think, than like I don't know, loads of millions of followers or you know what, that sort of thing. It's like it's nice to have that group of people that really do have your back when you need it.
Yeah, it's quality over quantity, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, as we come towards the creative part of this podcast, what would you say? Have you got any like favorite creative projects that you're working on at the moment, or something that in the past might have felt like you've been really enjoying in terms of your creative projects here? Could you tell us a bit about those at the moment?
Yeah, so I typically write crime dramas,
Hmm.
um, but I broke the mold and I wrote a psychological thriller, which
Oh.
was very, very interesting and
Hmm.
fun, because you've got to get into the mind of the character that you're trying to convey. Um, and so that was just, yeah, it wasn't really what I'm used to, but I feel like I've done a really good job on it. And it was just fun kind of using my background in sociology and criminology as well to like
Oh, so
have
you've got the two sides. Wow.
yeah, exactly. So
Ooh.
it was so fun, and I was like, it kind of felt like a moment, like I'm implementing everything that I've learned into this, and yeah, you kind of, it's a strange one when you're writing characters who are, for want of a better word, evil,
Mhm.
and you've got to kind of get into what would that person say at this time,
Yeah.
and that in response to that. And yeah, but it was just so fun. I was like, oh wow, I've never really been in this position before. I'm gonna have like, let's just go full throttle with it and see where it takes us.
That's really
Um,
cool how you've, yeah, literally merged, like, I suppose, a knowledge about one thing
yeah,
and then brought it into a creative sort of process and merged them both together. That's so cool. That's really
well, thank
interesting.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
I think music helps as well. Like I've always got headphones in. I'm always listening to
Mhm.
music, so it really helps. So particularly when I wrote that romantic piece, you start listening to the songs that get you in your feels, and like even the song that it was inspired by as well. So
Yeah.
I'm listening to all this music, and it's like it gets you into that kind of frame of mind to write
Mm,
a piece about love and like lovers reuniting. You can't. Yeah, I think certain types of music really helps the creative journey when
mm.
depending on what you're writing about. So yeah, you'll never see me without headphones. I've always got music on. It
Love
always helps the journey.
headphones.
Yeah.
That's brill. So yeah, that's really very inspiring. But I do like that concept of crossing everything over because it is like it's very innovative. It's that sort of like it's playing on creativity, isn't it? Like, oh, I've thought about this, I've got this skill, but how do I then merge it with this? And then it becomes something completely. And I suppose the perspective surrounding you, if you have knowledge in that area anyway, you can kind of muster up a character. You'd muster up a character by not having maybe experience in specific fields, but when you've got that background of you understanding what those people might be thinking, then that brings a whole new level to it. So that's really exciting, really cool.
Yeah, and they say write what you know as well. So I was like, maybe the psychological thriller piece was a long time coming because
Yeah.
like I said, I've got the background in it. So yeah, it was just so fun, and it was challenging because you're thinking like this isn't my usual type of content that I write,
Mm,
but it's just about just again the idea was sitting there for a couple of months, and I was like, it's still there, so let's just write it and see what happens. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. So as we come towards the end of this week's episode, my last bit that I want to ask you, so do you have any words of encouragement or words of wisdom that you would like to share with people who might be watching this today?
Um, I guess I mean just the first point is you just got to do it. You just got to
Yeah.
get out there and do it. Um, I think that's the hardest part is you start thinking in those kind of categories. Um, like if you start writing and it's like you start comparing yourself to the greats and people you find
Oh yeah. Hmm.
take inspiration by. But the first thing is you've just got to start. Just start immediately, and progress isn't linear as well. It's
Oh, definitely. Oh, goes like this.
exactly, it goes
It's
up and
like
down, it
music
goes
in
down.
itself. Woo, like it.
You know what? Exactly. So and it's don't get bogged down in like results and um like completing things. It's just you've got to give you and allow that time to like try, fail, try again, and eventually it will click. But it's confidence is a strange one. Confidence is a strange it's a strange concept within itself, I think.
Is.
I've always been I've kind of I had to like break down what confidence meant to me, and I kind of came up with like the ABC of confidence. So it's ability, belief, and consistency.
Yeah, that's so true. I
Yeah.
love that.
So it's like you've got to have the technique or the ability to do the thing you're after,
Hmm.
um, and you've actually got to believe that you can do it as well. And then the consistency is just keep on doing it, and you'll get there. And I've been trying to find like the loophole in that. And I've been trying to look at it like even if a footballer is taking a penalty in the World Cup final,
Yeah.
um, he's got the ability to do it because he's a professional footballer. You've got to believe that you're going to score the goal, and then they practice penalties in training every week. So like, I think if you can tick those three boxes, I think you're laughing. I think that's the secret, and it's just to keep. But consistency, I think, is has to be up there. Like just even if you're even if you haven't got a story to write, particularly with regards to writing, if you haven't got a story to write, just write anything. Just
Mm.
write how you're feeling that day, or a favorite memory, or just you could just write down like names of characters and give them little backstories, even though you haven't got a plot. And it's just getting into that habit of writing and enjoying the process too. And then eventually, like you say, something will happen, and then you're you won't see anyone for 6 weeks because you're too busy writing your story. So
That's real. That's real. No, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really great speaking to you. And yeah, I hope everybody finds this episode useful. But yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.